Good evening, everyone. Ideas are powerful. They shape decisions, inspire movements, and change the world. But here's the problem, even the greatest ideas can die in silence if we can't get them across. We've all been there. You're in a meeting or a conversation, you share what you believe is the idea, and then silence. Or worse, pushback. Understanding why people respond to ideas is the cornerstone of effective communication. It's easy to assume that if an idea makes logical sense to you, it will naturally resonate with others, but this assumption often leads to frustration and disappointment. People don't engage with ideas simply because they're logical, data-driven, or even beautifully articulated. They connect with ideas that feel relevant and meaningful to them. To truly get your ideas across, you need to first connect with their why, their deeper motivations, values, and priorities. Before you begin presenting an idea, take a moment to step into the shoes of the people you're addressing. Ask yourself what matters most to them. What do they care about? What drives their decisions? These questions guide you to think less about the brilliance of your idea and more about how it aligns with their worldview. People filter new information through their own set of beliefs, experiences, and desires. When your idea fits within their narrative, they're far more likely to listen. It's important to remember that what motivates you might not motivate someone else. Your passion for an idea could stem from your personal journey, experiences, or values. While that passion can fuel your enthusiasm, it doesn't automatically translate into universal appeal. People need to see what's in it for them. It's not a selfish reaction, it's human nature. We pay closer attention to ideas that feel personal and relevant to our lives. To achieve this, start by framing your idea in a way that feels inclusive. Instead of launching into all the reasons why you're excited about it, ask questions that surface the concerns, hopes, or pain points of your audience. These insights act as a bridge, helping you translate your vision into something that resonates with them. For instance, if you're proposing a new initiative at work, focus on how it solves a challenge they've expressed frustration about, or how it aligns with a shared goal the team values. It's also critical to articulate the deeper significance of your idea. People want to feel connected to something that matters beyond surface-level benefits. If you're introducing a product, don't just talk about its features, talk about the problem it solves and the difference it makes in people's lives. When discussing a strategy, don't only outline the steps involved, explain the broader impact it can have on the organization or community. By anchoring your idea in a shared purpose or outcome, you create a compelling reason for others to care. Another vital aspect of speaking to their why is understanding the emotions tied to the topic. Data and facts can provide support, but emotions create connection. People make decisions with their hearts first and their minds second. If you can tap into the emotions behind their goals or challenges, your idea will carry much more weight. For example, if you're proposing a shift in direction for a project, consider the fears and uncertainties that change can evoke. Acknowledge those feelings and address them directly, showing empathy and understanding for their perspective. This creates a foundation of trust, which makes people more receptive to new ideas. Clarity also plays a critical role in this process. It's not enough for you to see the alignment between your idea and their why. You need to clearly communicate that connection. Avoid jargon, overly technical language, or abstract concepts that can muddy your message. Instead, use plain, relatable language that makes the value of your idea obvious. Paint a vivid picture of the benefits, outcomes, or possibilities that your idea creates, specifically within the context of what they value. If they can clearly see the bridge from where they are to where your idea can take them, they'll feel far more inclined to follow. Listening is another often overlooked part of getting others to embrace your ideas. Before and even during your presentation, actively seek to understand their perspective. This doesn't mean simply nodding along, but asking meaningful questions and attentively considering their responses. What concerns do they voice? What excites them? Where do they see obstacles or opportunities? When people feel heard, they're more likely to hear you out in return. Moreover, their feedback can give you insights into how best to tailor your idea to fit their needs. Timing is also essential. Even the best idea can fail if it's introduced at the wrong moment. Consider where your audience is mentally and emotionally. Are they ready to focus? Do they have the capacity to take on something new? Bringing your idea forward when they're overwhelmed, distracted, or skeptical might close the door before you even have a chance to present it fully. Instead, look for opportunities when they're likely to be most receptive, times when the need for your idea is immediately evident or when they're actively looking for solutions. Another layer to this approach involves connecting your idea to a sense of ownership. People are far more likely to invest in an idea when they feel it belongs to them in some way. Present your idea not as a finished, immovable concept, but as something they can influence, improve, or shape together. This sense of ownership deepens their commitment because it no longer feels like something imposed on them, it becomes theirs too. The more you make it about their needs and contributions, the easier it will be to bridge the gap between where they are now and the new perspective you're offering. Getting your ideas across is not just about having great concepts, it's about creating an environment where others feel invited to engage, contribute, and take ownership of what's being shared. Many of us approach communication as if it's a one-way street. We assume it's our job to deliver the idea, explain it, and get others to buy into it. But the truth is, the most successful ideas don't arrive as fully polished statements. They grow through collaboration. When you create a space for others to contribute, you not only enhance your idea, but also build a sense of collective ownership that makes people far more likely to embrace and support it. A significant part of creating this collaborative space is realizing that ideas don't thrive in isolation. They become stronger when exposed to diverse perspectives, critiques, and suggestions. Collaboration doesn't diminish your role as the originator of the idea. Instead, it strengthens your concept by grounding it in the experiences and insights of others. People bring unique viewpoints to the table based on their roles, experiences, and challenges. By involving them, you expand the scope and relevance of your idea, which increases its chances of success. Collaboration begins with your mindset. Instead of entering a discussion trying to convince everyone that your idea is perfect, approach it with curiosity. Be willing to hear alternative perspectives and acknowledge that others might identify gaps or enhancements you haven't considered. A willingness to collaborate signals to others that you value their input, which makes them more willing to engage with you. It shifts the dynamic from "let me tell you why this will work" to "let's explore how we can make this work together." One of the simplest and most effective ways to open up collaboration is to ask questions. Questions invite dialogue and signal that you care about the other person's viewpoint. Instead of presenting your idea as a finished product, try starting with a question like, "What do you think about this approach?" or "How do you see this fitting with our goals?" These questions create an opening for others to share their thoughts, making the conversation feel more like a partnership than a presentation. When people begin contributing to your idea, actively listen. Listening doesn't just mean waiting for your turn to speak or respond. It means fully engaging with what's being said and considering it thoughtfully. This can be challenging when someone challenges a part of your idea or offers suggestions that take it in a different direction. In those moments, remember that every comment, even the critical ones, is an opportunity to improve. Resist the urge to be defensive. Instead, show gratitude for their input and genuinely evaluate how their perspective might strengthen the idea. Another powerful way to foster collaboration is by leaving space in your idea for others to leave their mark. Instead of presenting a finished plan, share your thoughts in a way that encourages others to fill in the gaps. For instance, if you're introducing a new process, present the core concept but leave room for details like implementation or specific steps to be co-created with the group. This approach makes people feel like active participants rather than passive recipients, which creates a deeper sense of connection to the idea. Collaboration also requires creating a safe environment for others to contribute. People are often hesitant to share their thoughts if they feel that their ideas will be dismissed or criticized. It's your responsibility to cultivate a sense of psychological safety. When someone speaks up, respond with openness and encouragement, even if their suggestion isn't fully aligned with your vision. By validating their effort, you encourage more participation, which is essential for creating a truly collaborative dialogue. As ideas evolve through collaboration, it's important to recognize and acknowledge the contributions of others. When someone offers a suggestion that enhances your idea, credit them publicly. Let them know how their input is shaping the direction. This builds goodwill and reinforces the idea that this is a shared effort. People are far more likely to invest in an idea when they feel their voice has been heard and respected. At the heart of collaboration is trust. If you don't trust the people you're working with or they don't trust you, true collaboration becomes impossible. Building trust takes time, consistency, and a genuine commitment to the process. It means being transparent about your intentions, showing humility when others challenge your thinking, and staying open to change. When trust is present, people feel freer to share their best ideas without fear, and your idea can reach its full potential. Understand that collaboration doesn't always mean everyone agrees immediately. The goal isn't to get unanimous approval, it's to integrate diverse perspectives and find common ground. Sometimes this means navigating conflicting opinions, finding compromises, or experimenting with different approaches. While this process can be messy, it often leads to solutions that are far more robust and effective than anything you could have come up with on your own. Detaching from the outcome is one of the most powerful and difficult skills to develop when it comes to sharing ideas effectively. As human beings, we are naturally inclined to hope for validation, agreement, and approval when we present our thoughts. This desire is rooted in a deep need to feel understood and valued. However, when the outcome becomes your primary focus, when you are fixated on getting people to agree with you, applaud you, or adopt your idea without question, you lose sight of what really matters. The moment you prioritize the need to win over the willingness to engage, the entire dynamic shifts. Instead of being an authentic exchange, the interaction becomes about proving something, which often alienates the very people you want to reach. Detaching from the outcome begins with a mindset shift. It's about reframing the purpose of communication. The goal is not to impose your idea or to receive immediate acceptance, but to share, explore, and discover. When you stop placing all your energy into controlling the outcome, you open yourself up to truly listening, learning, and collaborating. This shift requires humility, the ability to recognize that your idea, no matter how well thought out, may not be perfect, and that others may have valuable insights to offer that could make it better. It also requires the courage to let go of the need for immediate affirmation, understanding that not every idea will land exactly the way you intend. One of the greatest benefits of detaching from the outcome is that it reduces pressure for both you and your audience. When you enter a conversation with a rigid need for a specific result, people sense that pressure. It feels transactional, as though their sole purpose is to validate your effort. This often leads to resistance, even if they might otherwise have been open to your idea. On the other hand, when you approach the conversation with curiosity and a genuine openness to where it might lead, people feel that freedom and are more inclined to engage authentically. Detachment doesn't mean indifference. It's not about abandoning your passion or lowering your standards. Rather, it's about separating your sense of self-worth from the outcome. Too often, people tie their identity to the success or rejection of their ideas. When someone challenges your concept or doesn't immediately buy in, it can feel like a personal rejection. This emotional investment clouds judgment, makes you defensive, and shifts the focus away from the idea itself. By detaching, you allow yourself to remain grounded and focused on what's most important, having a meaningful exchange of ideas. Practicing detachment also makes you a better listener. When you're not preoccupied with steering the conversation toward a specific conclusion, you can fully engage with what others are saying. You become more attuned to their concerns, questions, and even objections. These responses are not threats to your idea, they are opportunities to gain deeper insights and refine your perspective. Listening is an act of respect. It demonstrates that you value the thoughts and experiences of others, which in turn makes them more likely to respect and consider your ideas. Detachment fosters a more collaborative approach to communication. Instead of positioning your idea as the definitive answer, you invite others to explore it with you. This creates an atmosphere where people feel more comfortable sharing their thoughts, adding their perspectives, and even critiquing the concept. When you're not fixated on achieving a specific result, you can view these contributions as assets rather than obstacles. The end result is often a stronger, more inclusive idea that carries greater support because it wasn't developed in isolation. A significant part of detachment involves accepting uncertainty. Not every conversation will result in agreement or immediate action. Some people may need more time to process your idea. Others may never fully align with your perspective. That's okay. The success of an idea doesn't always hinge on instant acceptance. Sometimes the seeds you plant in one conversation take time to grow. When you focus on creating clarity, connection, and understanding in the present moment, you increase the likelihood that your ideas will resonate in the future, even if they don't gain traction right away. Another advantage of detaching from the outcome is that it allows for genuine authenticity in your communication. When you're not trying to achieve a specific reaction, you're free to express your ideas with clarity and conviction without slipping into manipulation or over-justification. People respond to authenticity. They appreciate when someone speaks passionately and truthfully without trying too hard to convince or sell them. This honesty can be more persuasive than any rehearsed pitch or carefully calculated argument. Detachment helps you grow as a communicator and thinker. Every interaction becomes a learning opportunity. Whether your idea is embraced, challenged, or dismissed, there is always something to take away. These experiences refine your ability to articulate your thoughts, adapt to different audiences, and approach new challenges with resilience. By viewing each conversation as part of a larger process rather than a pass or fail moment, you develop the confidence to keep sharing and evolving your ideas. Focusing on the mission, not on yourself, is one of the most transformative shifts you can make when trying to communicate your ideas effectively. It is tempting to see every opportunity to share an idea as a moment to prove your expertise, showcase your knowledge, or establish your value. After all, you've invested time, energy, and effort into developing something you believe in, and it's natural to want others to recognize that. But when the focus becomes more about proving yourself than advancing the mission, the idea can lose its impact. The audience's attention drifts from the heart of the matter, and the opportunity to connect is diluted. To focus on the mission means to put the greater purpose above your ego. It requires you to ask yourself why this idea matters not just to you, but to the people it affects and to the broader context it exists within. It's about seeing the idea as a tool to solve a problem, create value, or spark a change rather than as a reflection of your own abilities. Shifting this perspective may seem subtle, but it changes everything about how you present your idea, how you respond to challenges, and how you invite others into the process. One of the key signs that someone is focused on the mission is their ability to adapt their approach based on the needs of their audience. When your attention is on serving the mission rather than protecting your own status, you become less attached to how the message is delivered or whether it's you delivering it. Your goal becomes finding the best way to ensure the idea resonates and creates impact. That might mean simplifying complex concepts, finding analogies that align with the audience's experiences, or even allowing someone else to champion the idea if they're better positioned to convey it. It's not about you being the hero of the story, it's about making the idea the center of attention. Focusing on the mission also encourages humility. It's recognizing that while you may have sparked the idea, the execution and success of it often depend on the contributions of others. This humility opens the door for collaboration, allowing other people to add value, provide insights, and identify potential pitfalls. When you prioritize the mission, you don't feel the need to have all the answers yourself. Instead, you're more open to exploring different perspectives and incorporating them into the process. This collaborative mindset strengthens not only the idea but also the relationships and trust within the group. Another key aspect of focusing on the mission is your ability to detach from personal credit. In some cases, your idea may be successful, but the recognition might not fully come your way. It's easy to feel slighted or overlooked in those moments, but if the mission truly matters, the outcome will outweigh the accolades. Staying committed to the purpose behind your idea allows you to stay grounded and focused on what really counts, the impact your idea has on the people it's meant to serve. Clarity is another critical outcome of this focus. When you make the mission your priority, you're less likely to clutter your communication with unnecessary details or tangents aimed at impressing others. Instead, you distill your message to its essence, focusing on the elements that are most relevant to your audience and the goal at hand. This focus helps cut through noise and ensures that the true value of your idea shines through. Focusing on the mission also helps you navigate resistance. When your ego is tied to an idea, pushback can feel like a personal attack, leading to defensiveness and strained interactions. But when the mission takes precedence, resistance becomes something to understand rather than combat. You can approach objections with curiosity, asking questions to uncover the underlying concerns or fears. This allows you to address challenges constructively, finding common ground and reinforcing the purpose behind the idea. Another benefit of focusing on the mission is its ability to inspire others. People are drawn to those who are clearly motivated by something bigger than themselves. When you speak passionately about an idea in a way that shows genuine care for the purpose it serves, that authenticity becomes contagious. Others are more likely to join you, contribute, and even advocate for the idea themselves because they see the impact it can have and trust your intentions. Staying mission-focused also provides resilience. Not every idea will be accepted right away, and some may face significant obstacles. If your focus is on yourself, these challenges can feel like failures, undermining your confidence and momentum. But when your attention remains on the mission, setbacks become part of the process rather than an endpoint. You remain anchored to the larger purpose, which provides the motivation and perspective needed to keep going, refine your approach, and find new ways to move forward. This perspective also encourages a long-term view. Sometimes the mission may require putting aside short-term wins in favor of lasting impact. By focusing on the bigger picture, you're more willing to make sacrifices, adjust strategies, and take the necessary steps to ensure the idea reaches its full potential, even if that journey takes time. This patience and dedication not only strengthen the idea itself, but also demonstrate your commitment to the mission, building trust and respect from those around you. Listening actively is one of the most underestimated and powerful tools when it comes to getting your ideas across. Too often, people approach communication as if it's all about speaking, making their case, explaining their point of view, and persuading others to see things their way. But effective communication is a two-way process. If you're not taking the time to listen deeply, you miss crucial opportunities to connect, learn, and adapt your message to resonate with others. Active listening is not about passively waiting for your turn to talk. It's about fully engaging with the person or people in front of you, understanding their perspective, and showing that their thoughts and concerns genuinely matter. When you actively listen, you shift the focus from yourself to the other person. This can feel counterintuitive when you're trying to share your ideas, but it's an essential part of creating a meaningful dialogue. People are far more willing to listen to you if they feel heard first. Active listening builds trust because it shows you respect the other person enough to value their input. It creates a space where they feel safe to express themselves openly, even if they have concerns or objections to what you're proposing. This foundation of trust makes it easier for them to engage with your ideas without feeling defensive or dismissed. A key aspect of active listening is presence. Being truly present means setting aside distractions, internal dialogue, and preconceived judgments. When someone is speaking to you, resist the urge to mentally rehearse your response or anticipate what they're going to say next. Instead, focus entirely on their words, tone, and body language. Pay attention to not only what they're saying, but also what they might be implying or holding back. People often communicate more through their emotions and energy than through their words alone, and an active listener picks up on those subtle cues. Another critical component of active listening is asking thoughtful questions. Questions demonstrate curiosity and encourage deeper conversation. They show that you're not just hearing the surface-level message, but are interested in understanding the context, motivations, and reasoning behind it. For example, if someone expresses concern about your idea, don't rush to defend it. Instead, ask, can you tell me more about why you feel that way, or what would make you feel more comfortable with this approach? These types of questions open up dialogue and invite collaboration rather than confrontation. Validation is another powerful part of listening actively. Even if you don't agree with someone's perspective, acknowledging their feelings and concerns goes a long way toward building rapport. Validation doesn't mean you're conceding your position, it simply means you recognize the value of their point of view. Statements like, I can see why that's important to you, or I understand where you're coming from, can make someone feel respected and more open to considering your perspective in return. When you actively listen, you also gather valuable information that can help you refine and strengthen your idea. Objections, doubts, and alternative viewpoints are not obstacles, they're opportunities to learn. If someone challenges your idea, consider it a chance to see your concept from a different angle. Perhaps they've identified a weakness you hadn't noticed, or maybe they're offering insights that could make your idea even more robust. By being open to feedback, you not only improve your idea, but also show others that you're committed to its success, not just to proving yourself right. Active listening also allows you to address concerns more effectively. When you take the time to fully understand what someone is thinking, you can tailor your response to address their specific needs and doubts. Generic arguments or pre-prepared rebuttals often fall flat because they don't account for the unique context of the conversation. By actively listening, you can provide more targeted and meaningful explanations, increasing the likelihood that your idea will resonate. Empathy plays a significant role in active listening. To truly understand where someone is coming from, you need to put yourself in their shoes and see the situation from their perspective. This requires setting aside your assumptions and being willing to consider experiences or values that may be different from your own. Empathy allows you to connect on a deeper level, showing the other person that you're not just listening to respond, but genuinely trying to understand. This connection fosters trust and makes them more open to engaging with your ideas. Active listening also helps you stay calm and composed during difficult conversations. When someone challenges your idea, it's easy to become defensive or reactive. But by focusing on listening rather than defending, you create space to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. This not only keeps the conversation productive, but also demonstrates emotional intelligence, which can strengthen your credibility and influence. Active listening is an ongoing process. It's not something you do once and then move on. It's a practice that needs to be cultivated over time. Every interaction provides an opportunity to listen better and learn more. When you approach communication with the mindset of listening as much as you speak, you open the door to richer, more meaningful exchanges that benefit everyone involved. Over time, this habit transforms the way others perceive you and the way your ideas are received. Making your ideas relatable is one of the most effective ways to ensure they resonate with others. At its core, communication is about building a bridge between your perspective and someone else's, and relatability is the foundation of that bridge. No matter how groundbreaking or innovative your idea may be, if people can't see themselves in it or connect it to their experiences, it's unlikely to gain the traction you hope for. Being relatable is not about diluting your idea, it's about packaging it in a way that feels accessible, familiar, and relevant to the people you're sharing it with. To make an idea relatable, start by understanding your audience. Take the time to learn who they are, what they care about, and what challenges they face. This doesn't mean simply categorizing them by broad labels such as job titles or demographics. It means diving deeper into their motivations, fears, and values. The more you know about their world, the better you'll be able to frame your idea in a way that aligns with their realities. When people feel like you understand them, they're more likely to listen, trust, and engage with what you have to say. One of the most effective ways to create relatability is by using stories. Stories are universal. They capture attention, evoke emotion, and make abstract concepts tangible. A well-told story can transform an idea from something abstract or intellectual into something people can see, feel, and relate to. When choosing a story, think about one that mirrors the struggles or aspirations of your audience. It doesn't have to be grand or dramatic sometimes. The most ordinary anecdotes are the ones that resonate the most because they reflect real, everyday experiences. By sharing a story that highlights the relevance of your idea, you provide a vivid, memorable context that draws people in and makes them feel connected. Relatability also comes from finding common ground. Highlight shared goals, values, or challenges that link your perspective to theirs. For example, if you're proposing a new initiative at work, rather than diving into technical details, start by addressing a challenge that everyone agrees needs solving. This creates a sense of alignment and positions your idea as a solution that benefits the whole. When people see that your idea is grounded in mutual interest, they're more likely to invest time and energy in understanding and supporting it. Language plays a critical role in relatability as well. Avoid jargon or overly technical explanations that might alienate your audience. Instead, use simple, clear, and familiar language that conveys your point without making others feel excluded or overwhelmed. Metaphors, analogies, and examples can be incredibly effective tools to make complex ideas more relatable. For instance, if you're explaining a sophisticated system, compare it to something people already know, such as likening it to the way traffic flows in a city. This creates a mental shortcut that helps your audience grasp the concept more quickly and remember it longer. Another key aspect of making ideas relatable is showing empathy. Demonstrate that you understand where your audience is coming from and acknowledge their perspective, even if it differs from your own. For instance, if your idea involves change, recognize the discomfort or uncertainty that change might bring. By addressing potential concerns openly, you show that you're not disconnected from their realities, which helps to build trust and lowers resistance. Empathy signals that you're not simply imposing an idea, but rather considering how it fits into their world. Timing and context are also crucial. An idea might be brilliant but fall flat if presented in the wrong setting or at an inopportune moment. Relatability often depends on timing, aligning your idea with the immediate needs, priorities, or emotions of your audience. Pay attention to what's happening around them. Are they facing a particular challenge that your idea can help resolve? Is there a broader cultural or industry trend that aligns with your message? Tying your idea to what's timely and relevant increases its perceived value and makes it feel more natural and accessible. Another powerful way to foster relatability is by showing vulnerability. Sharing your own doubts, struggles, or moments of uncertainty can make you and your idea feel more human. When people see that you're not positioning yourself as infallible, they're more likely to lower their guard and engage with what you're saying. Vulnerability also creates space for others to see themselves in your journey, which deepens the connection and makes the idea feel more personal. Relatability also involves adaptability. Not every audience will connect with your idea in the same way, and it's your responsibility to adjust how you present it. Be willing to pivot your approach based on their reactions. If you sense confusion or hesitation, take the time to reframe your idea in a way that better aligns with their perspective. Flexibility shows that you value the conversation and are genuinely committed to finding common ground, rather than rigidly clinging to a particular narrative. Finally, making your idea relatable means focusing on outcomes that matter to the audience. Explain not just what your idea is, but why it matters to them. Help them envision how it will impact their lives, solve their problems, or fulfill their aspirations. By centering your idea on their priorities and showing the tangible benefits, you turn it from an abstract concept into a meaningful opportunity. People are far more likely to embrace an idea when they see its relevance to their own goals and needs. Getting your ideas across isn't about you. It's about serving something bigger. It's about connecting with people where they are instead of trying to drag them to where you are. So the next time you share your idea, don't make it personal. Instead, make it meaningful. Thank you.